Hi guys, or two people that are here. Hey, share this if you would, Rockman, in the Discord. And the what happened is that it just froze. I just couldn't do anything with it. So it is now unfrozen. It appears that everything's okay. I'm doing a couple of things, so that's why you can't see our lovely faces yet. Please be patient. I know you guys are, but I'm gonna have Amanda say hi because she is here with me in the house. Say hi, Amanda.
Hey guys,
And we were having an
do you,
interesting. Oh, go ahead. What were we gonna say? Is that it just froze? It just couldn't do anything. Oh, I hear an echo.
I know, is that me?
I think it might be.
Okay,
Do you have it open or something?
I guess I did, sorry.
Hey, well, anyway, were you gonna say something, or did I think you were gonna say something and I was just hearing myself?
no, I was gonna say hi and then I heard the echo and I was like, uh-oh.
Oh no.
Hi everybody. Thanks for having me, Erin.
Yeah, thanks for being here. I'm going to do this display thing, and I think that I have. Oh, you're missing. Oh,
I am?
you're not in your front of your camera.
Yes, ma'am, I am. I see myself.
That's weird. All I see is your door. This is fun. Well,
What?
yeah, it's really strange. I see your door.
Should I come back in?
No, we're just gonna go. We're just gonna open other stuff. I'm gonna go to the internets here, and we're gonna talk about some things. I want. It's okay. We don't need the video. Let's just forget about it. What I want you to tell me, if you don't mind, is what um, you just told me before we started, which I think will be really great for people to hear that new people are learning. Well, not new people. People are learning new things all the time that some of us have known for a long time, and it's not a competition. No one's going to go, I've known that since 1962. Or if they do, it's good for them. But if you don't mind, tell us the new thing that you learned about recently.
Well, I mean, I had heard the phrase Pizzagate. I just hadn't had a chance to find out what that was. And I learned about it last night. That was pretty crazy. I mean, I knew stuff like that went on, but I didn't realize the extent or how horrific it actually, how far, I don't know. I mean, even a little of it is disgusting, but I had no idea how deep that went.
Well, interestingly enough, it was because of a movie that you, or a documentary you were watching on YouTube. And I haven't
Yes.
looked at it yet, but it was 3 hours long. Was the whole thing
Well,
about Pizzagate?
no. So the whole, it's called The Great Awakening. Some of you might have heard it. I don't know. I just heard about it last night and I watched it, and it's parts 1 through 10. So there are 10 parts in that 3 hours. So if you just want to watch half, 20 minutes at a time. But no, it talks about all kinds of things. I Q and just all the fake news and I mean all kinds of stuff. Pizzagate, and then about our just all kinds of stuff, I learned. But it's just it's stuff that like you guys all been talking about for a long time, and I've understood a little bit of it, but it just goes more into depth of all the corruption and
So
evil that's in
who?
the world.
So this is probably a pro Q video because it's called The Great Awakening. What does it say Q is? What does it say about Q?
Just they're an anonymous informer, or I don't know if that's the right word. Uh, just how they're exposing the truth to so many people, and it didn't quite get into exactly like who's behind Q, but I don't know if we even know that, or do we?
Well, here's the
Or
thing.
do you?
I will
Because I
tell.
don't.
Nobody knows exactly. There's so many people who think they know who Q is, and if you're just joining us, we're talking about Q because Amanda is recently learning about it. So it's a good time for me to, give you my opinion, which could be wrong. I mean, but what I would say is that Q has done something to stir up this this movement for sure, and a lot of people have caught on to Q, and it's become kind of a really strong group of people that are very serious about Q and what Q says. What they don't seem to think about is how did it start? And you can go back. I've had people in my community, especially on the Discord, that have, and I'm showing qmap.pub, and just so you know what I'm showing, I don't know if you can see, but I have had people come on my channel and kind of talk about how it started, especially Mr. MPC 3.14, and who probably is behind it is basically intelligence agencies. So we're looking at the same corrupt intelligence agencies that have been part of these decades-long presidencies that have been totally corrupt. And so how all of a sudden are we trusting this intelligent agent that we don't even know who it is? It's anonymous and it's intelligence. But not only that, there's a lot of things that Q says that sound very much like the Alice Bailey plan. And Alice Bailey wrote lots of books, and she was a big time New Age person that had a lot of influence on the New Age movement. And these people are behind everything when it comes to left wing stuff like environmental safety or environmental change or global warming or Earth First, all these very well funded, huge New Age leftist groups go off of what Alice Bailey and Helena Blavatsky and, oh, there's another guy, I can't think of his name, Benjamin Krim, David Spangler, there's a whole bunch of them that they want the population to be lowered to like 500,000 people in order to the world to really thrive. And um, they also uh, talk about having a one world religion. They talk about having a one world currency. And where everybody's saying that's the old, that's not Donald Trump or Q, that's not what they want. Q certainly has said a lot of things that sound very much like Alice Bailey. And the concern I have is they might be fighting. I think Donald Trump is definitely fighting the old guard. I don't think they like him. I do think the media hates him. I don't think that's all scripted. I do think there is a literal battle and hatred there. But I think for
Yeah.
us, it's going to look the same in the outcome. I think for us, we're going to see the same outcome, unfortunately, with his new world order instead of the old new world order. And I agree with Jeffrey that Q stands for quantum computer. But of course, that's the very first video I ever did on Q was exposing why I think that Q is an AI, even though at the time I was pro Q. So anyway, that's just my very long, very extended 2 cents about that. But I'll mention, since you just learned about Pizzagate, don't worry about not knowing about that for a long time. I didn't learn about it till 2018, and I had no idea how bad and evil Hillary Clinton was. I had no idea how bad and evil President Obama was. And it's not like I like these people, but I just had no idea just how bad it was. So anyway, I'll give you back
Yeah.
the floor there.
Wow.
Are you there? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Oh, did
Sorry, I was
I
I
just
was
heard that?
I
Were
was
you
trying to
talking?
say I was going to give you back the floor on that if you wanted to say anything about what you learned or anything like that.
Um, well, and I'm only on to the sixth part, so I haven't even watched the whole thing, but somebody else was sharing it on Facebook, and not that same, like this documentary, maybe you have seen it, because as far as I understand, it's been renamed several times to get it back out there because they keep getting it blocked and deleted and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I'm just on episode 6 and I'm still learning, but it is pretty mind-blowing to me that evil exists. I knew evil exists, but I didn't know to the extent. And I've been an advocate against human trafficking for a few years, and I still didn't know how awful it really was. So um I don't know, it's a sad world we live in, and I'm just grateful for people like you who share the truth, keep sharing it, even though everybody looks down on you for it and you get so much pushback, because I wouldn't know anything about any of this if it wasn't for you and a few others who have shared with me. So I just think it's important that everybody looks at these things and educates themselves, and because that's the only way we can fight it, is becoming educated about it and protecting our children from it.
It's it's hard at first
So
too. It's hard at first because you have to really uncover some just horrible stuff. And I remember, now that okay, so I remember I came up one time upstairs, and I say upstairs because yes, I lived in my parents' basement for a couple of months while I was transitioning and becoming less of a hot mess. And you guys would know that because when I first started this YouTube stuff, I was living in my parents' basement. But anyway, I'd come upstairs and I'd just be crying to my mom, and I just want to hug. And I'd be like, "Oh my gosh, I can't look at this stuff anymore. It's just too much." And I think she kind of thought like, "What the heck?" Well, recently she finally started learning about it, and I said, "Now you know why I just needed those hugs some nights because some of this stuff, yeah, the Franklin cover up is bad enough, but then you find out about those two British kids that were given to their father who was satanically sexually abusing them because the system is totally stacked against them. I mean, their own mother lost complete custody. In fact, not only did she lose custody, people were threatening her. She had to like escape the country, and her own children have been with him ever since. And they little babies, they were being abused, sexually abused at school. Satanic, they were part of satanic rituals at school. Come into the school and they'd have all these sexual orgies with the children. It's just disgusting stuff, and that's not even the least or the most of it. There's so much more. I mean, it's not just the trafficking; it's the killing and harvesting of organs. I've seen video where they pulled a kid off the street that was lost and walked her into a butcher shop of children, and then she was terrified. It was the most horrible thing I've ever seen in my whole life. However, I'm telling you this stuff, you guys, because this this is that's Satan. That stuff is not from the Lord Jesus Christ. And we have the Lord Jesus Christ, and we know how it really ends for these people, and we know what's really going to happen for us and to them. And the Lord does say, "Vengeance is mine." And can you imagine the wrath that's going to come down on these people when it's their time? It's just anyway. I'll give it back to you on that particular. If you have anything left to say, and then we'll kind of move on.
no, I just, like you said, it's just the type of evil that's out there. I just wasn't aware. And so a lot of times I believe, including myself, I find it hard to believe that it's possible for a human to do that to another human, let alone a baby or a child. But so some of it seems so unbelievable. But one of my clients, her daughter lives in California, had her in the other day, and she was so upset. And her daughter lives, well, she's moving back now because of this that happened. Went to a little get together, and she witnessed some of this stuff. And her mom couldn't even tell me what her daughter had witnessed. Essentially, escaped from, not that she's in her late 20s, but um, she was brought in by a bunch of wealthy people and a large group, and they were trying to get her to participate. And she's scared for her life and can't even speak about it, and her mom can't tell me, she can't even say the words of the things her daughter told her what she saw. But it's just mind-blowing to me that, I mean, I understand it's hard to believe, but it's real. It's so real, and we have to just keep talking about it. So I don't
Yeah,
know what more to say. I'm not super educated on it, but watch that documentary if you haven't yet.
yeah, I'm gonna check it out, and I watch everything a little bit faster, so even though it's 3 hours long, I can watch it in a fast speed. And certainly, yeah, I probably have seen everything that's in here. It's, I've done videos on this stuff. I mean, it's gross, but anyway, everybody here knows
Well,
about. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I recently I had in Asheville is Castle, and that's like a big tourist attraction around here. And I took my family and we toured the Biltmore Mansion and that swimming pool. You guys know what I'm talking
Yes,
about? The
we
swimming
do.
pool that's in the
Oh yeah.
paintings from Pizzagate.
Yeah.
And thinking, just seeing through there, I felt I felt fearful. I felt there was an evil presence there, and I knew nothing. And I wanted out of that room. My whole family, we were all like, "Oh gosh, this is weird and creepy, and let's get out of here." Like, get out. I watched this documentary and it talked about it, and Anderson Cooper and his ties to Biltmore, and all that, and how those things happened right there. And it's just, I don't know. I'm still very disturbed by all that, but we can we can move to the next subject. I don't know what more to say in that room, and it does feel evil.
Yeah, once you know what they do in there, it's pretty awful. I mean, now that you know, you're looking back, you did in the past, and now you're aware. Now what you're going to notice a lot too is I hope you paid, attention to the symbolism, because they use this stuff all the time, and it kind of it's don't it's you don't even need to point it out all the time anymore when you get to a certain point, but it's like now you see really you see they're using that like the symbols that really portray like the man boy lover or the child lover or the words that they used when they're talking about children, and you're going to have a better awareness, you're going to have a better ability to warn your own kids. In fact, I did a video on Instagram about how people location women are showing all these sexy images, and I'm like, this is what I'm going to teach my children when they're a little bit older, not yet, but I'm going to show them what happens in snuff videos. These guys will find. I'm not going to show them a snuff video, you guys. I'm trying to show them there are people out there saying that they do these videos. They find these girls on Instagram, and that's how they get them. And there's it's just I've found their Instagram pages. I've seen them promoting it. There was one guy in particular I posted. I think I put his information in the video I made, and I'm like, this guy is saying that's what he's doing. And if this guy is saying that's what he's doing, then you better not be posting your sexy pictures and where you're located, because someone could just come find you because you're posting everywhere that you are.
Yeah, yeah. I have two daughters. You got daughters. I'm sure a lot of people watching have daughters, and you can bet your ass I'm guarding them all the time. I don't have babysitters and daycare providers anymore and things like that because you don't even know anymore.
That's another thing is you just got to vet everybody, but you also pray protection because you can't put them in a bubble, right? You can't put your children in a bubble. You
Yes,
can't pretend that
I
they,
try. I try to put them in a bubble.
well, unfortunately, the more you do that, the more they're going to want to experience things that and not heed your warnings. So you have to be careful
Yeah.
about how much you keep them from. But yeah, and then I also pray the full armor over them every single day out loud. And I pray for protection, angels with with their swords of fire, and all these things that I do routinely, because that's how we can. That's another
Well,
way
I
to
want to know
protect our
more about
children.
that, Erin.
About what, the prayers?
We'll have to talk more about that because yeah, I mean, I have a bunch of them, but I'd love to know what you're doing. My oldest is 18 now, and I did shelter her a lot. I put her in a bubble, and now she's 18, and I am praying even more and more every day, just because I'm seeing the change in her, and she really is.
Not working on my. Oh, hold on. I'm refreshing my chat. This is kind of how it goes some days, guys. Kind of painful. My chat. I don't even know if this is still on. Golly.
Want me to look, or maybe I'll look. Let me look.
Probably the topic. Yeah, can you look and see if people are chatting? I can't use my chat anymore. I can't see what's going on.
Uh,
I have a
well,
feeling it's the topic. Is it gone?
what's 5 by 5 mean again?
They
Five by
get
five.
that
What's that mean?
they can hear us. Okay.
Okay, it says it's saying, okay, they don't, okay. I think, well, it's delayed for sure.
All right. So hear us, I guess. Okay. Well, I'm gonna keep going then, like they can still hear us. I can't see the chat anymore though, so I'm not there in the chat. I wanted to mention totally changing what we were talking about. What we do, guys, is we remind you about gold and silver, and we talk about this for a reason. And the reason is very specific to uh, this the ability for us to have a business that cares about our dollars and takes care of our dollars. And so you just keep an eye on that chat. And if they're saying it's disconnected or something, you let me know, please, Amanda.
Okay.
But on this, I pulled up my Sound Money wallet just because I don't mind if people see my cash and my silver in there. And I don't have a whole lot of dollars in there, but I do have $250.27, and I have $85.14 in silver. The reason that I have done this, we've talked about it. I'm not going to try to bore everybody by talking about it too much, but the reason we've done this is because they're actually protecting our dollars with reserve silver. If I put that cash into the silver or the gold, reserve silver and gold, and so I'm showing everybody and letting you guys know that I did have someone join this week because this was a big reason because we have this. In fact, it was somebody that was didn't want to have a bank account. Apparently decided to open a bank account, was moving money from another account to the new bank account, and then was like, "No, I need to do this," and it was a no-brainer for them. So, have you got anybody talking about this on when you're doing stuff? Are you guys getting any kind of feedback on this?
Oh yeah, it's become a big of conversation. A lot of people are real excited about it, and in fact, I have a lot of members that you know, I have a lot of people in my organization now, as I'm sure you do too, and a lot of them didn't even know we had it. So I've been reaching out to everybody and educating them on it, and they're loving it. So, and I've got new people that maybe weren't so interested in 7K before who are looking at it again. So definitely you want to talk to those old people and let them know what we've got going on now again. So
Well, I try.
um,
I try. I've
yeah,
got a bunch of
it's an
people.
awesome thing. I have,
Yeah, you finish.
yeah, I got a bunch of people re-looking. So I think it's definitely, one of the biggest objections that I have had, other than I can't afford it, is, well, I don't want to have my gold and silver stored at my home. So, so here we've resolved that problem, and it's like so much better than even a depository, or, they're not just holding it. We can actually make gains on it and everything. So that's awesome.
Right. So if any of you people are in my business right now and you don't know about this, please learn about it because why I mean we've all got bank accounts. You can take your cash and you can send it to 7K and they're a better bank account because if you put it in silver and gold reserves like you just said, people are worried about storage. That's exactly the conversation I had with this new guy Michael that joined up this week. That's exactly the conversation is where do you store it? Especially silver because of the price being lower, you can get a lot more of it. Some people think I should buy gold because it's easier to store. Well, that's being stored for you and in fact you can cash it in a heck of a lot faster. And I even had another friend say, "Well, that almost sounds better than buying it and having it in hand as fast as you can exchange it. It should be it should
Yeah.
be everybody's emergency fund."
Yes, I love it. I think it's, obviously we're trying to diversify our incomes and our assets, but now we can diversify our gold and silver too. So obviously I'm still getting some through the mail, and actually a larger chunk is now going to the Sound Money wallets, or the gold and silver portion of it. So that's awesome.
Right. And so it's an immediate cash out if you need it. I mean, what is one of the one things we talk about people, what's the first thing when you're doing these wealth strategies thing, and I know you know this. What's the first thing you talk about?
Um, as far as when I do a presentation,
Right, when you just go through the straight through the PowerPoint.
oh, and then
Yeah, the
well, as far as the presentation goes, the first, I just educate people on the power of gold and silver. But do you mean the questions afterwards?
Well, sorry, I'm not trying to trick you. One of the
No, I'm just trying to answer the correct question. I know you're not trying to trick me.
one of the first things we talk about is about that people don't have any emergency money.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Well, and I know you and I both fit in that category. 44% of Americans can't afford a $400 emergency expense and rely on credit cards or borrowing or selling things. I relied on credit cards. My ego was too big to ask for help, but I went really far into debt. So, yes, we definitely talked about that. That's a big one.
Somebody said, or 2 Death 3 says, Gerald Salente, I don't know who that is, but he purchased gold via MF, which I'm not sure, MF Gold. He never had the gold in his possession and they ripped him off. One of the things that Amanda and I warn about is what's called ETFs too, and futures, and we're aware that it's better to have your gold and silver in hand. We agree. And so you can tell us the options here about whether you can hold your own gold and silver with 7K metals. Tell me if you think these are futures that they're selling. Tell me what you know about all that.
Well, so obviously, up until very recently, I always encourage people to take possession because so many people are getting ripped off, and I've seen it quite a bit. And so that was a big thing for me. You got to take possession. You got to take possession. Well, now we have our Sound Money wallet and our Sound Money vault, and so we have two other options for our members, and it's pretty awesome because now you can just purchase your gold and silver at a dollar amount, and it is kept in the vault. It's audited monthly and guarded 24/7. And whatever dollar amount 7K Metals members own in gold or silver in our Sound Money wallet is accounted for in the vault. So it's physical, it's right, it's there, right? So they're not selling the same gold and silver over and over like a lot of the other companies. But then our other option is, and that's great because you can, like I said, like today, I'm up, what's today, Tuesday? I'm up $19 or something like that on my gold as of Friday. So in my Sound Money wallet. So I made some money on my gold already. Not that I'm trying to cash it in or anything, but so it's really cool because you can watch your value go up and
Mm-hmm.
fluctuate. And same with the silver, transfer between gold, silver, or cash in by the click of a button. So it's great for the time and that we live in. And then our other option is our Sound Money private vault, or our member vault, so you can actually have space in the vault and you can put your physical gold and silver there and it can just be sitting there for you. And then that can be, that's yours. Like if you send them all your gold and silver and you request it back, they're going to send you back the exact same gold and silver. Whereas the other one is more of a community vault where everybody's goes into. So if you request it, you're going to get gold and silver, but it's not going to be maybe what you sent in. But it's worth the same value. So, and then of course it can be shipped to your door. So we have so many options. It's just whatever best suits you. And as long as you're on our auto ship program, that those vaults are totally free to use. So that's awesome.
I was gonna say, somebody said, Jeffrey says that one day water will be gold. Yeah, it is even in the scriptures that people will be throwing their gold and silver in the streets, just like in Venezuela, they're throwing their whatever their dollar is called, but they're throwing them in the streets. That will happen. But until that happens, no, no, you're not supposed to quit your job and just live off. Well, maybe you are. I don't know what Jesus is telling everybody to do, but you're not supposed to just like throw everything away, quit your job, not use dollars, not use gold and silver just because you've read Revelations and you know that there'll be a time that gold will be worthless, or you've read any of Ezekiel or any of these books that talk about prophecy. Um, any prophecy books. But anyway, what I'm saying is until then, you still got to be working. You still got to be doing your purpose that the Lord gave you. He wants to come back and see you working. He doesn't want you to come back, or he doesn't want to come back and see us all bickering and saying this isn't worth that and that's not worth that. So we're just here to help can make your dollars worth more because we're still here working and we don't know the day or the time that the good Lord will come back. And Ben's asked the same question about whether they'll get involved with the mark or not. I don't know, Ben's, until I know for sure that I've seen the the mark happening until I know that's what it is, because we will, I think will definitely know, because things will move very fast then. We're going to see the Antichrist rise up, and we're going to know who it is. Well, at that point, I'm not even going to be involved in this business, because who am I going to sell the company, who am I going to sell that to? Oh, hey everybody, we need gold and silver. Don't you need gold and silver? And if the mark is going around and the Antichrist has risen up, I think that's the time we're going to be going to the cities of refuge, Benz, and I don't think we're going to have anything to do with more. So I don't, want to say that because pray for more time all the time. But if that's the case in my lifetime, then I'm not going to be trying to push this business for anybody for any reason, right?
Well, where our silver and gold or what 7K metals is not going to be, that's going to be the least of my concerns when that happens. So I do, what if, what about the grocery stores? What about driving your car, getting gas? Or, I mean, what if all that? What if, well, I just trust in today and lean on my God, and I don't live in what ifs. I do be smart and protect myself as much as I can, but I'm
Right.
not going to do the what ifs because I don't know. I'm not a fortune teller.
Well, thank God you're not, because it'd be a satanic thing to be doing. But I was trying to tell you about. I was trying to tell you real quick about the prayer. That full armor is something I pray every day with my kids. It's Ephesians 6:10 through 20, and you can remember that. And there's plenty of other little things you can pray that are just kind of, you're going to build up on your own. Like when I say this, the angels with the swords of fire, that came from people I listened to praying. I heard it from other people, and I liked it because we know that well, you may not know, but there are these spirits that are called marine kingdom spirits, and they're much, to look at the animals of the ocean, and any poisonous animal of the ocean is like 1,000 times more poisonous than the land animals. And so the spirits of the marine kingdom are far more dangerous and deadlier if you don't aren't aware of them, I think. And so I like to pray for the angels to have swords of fire, because they don't like fire, they don't like heat, they want the water. But anyway, I don't know if you think I sound crazy, but I'll talk to you more about it sometime if you want to. I'm not a total expert on the marine spirits, but we know the octopus would be one of them because it's got a stranglehold on anything. The mermaid would be another one. But anyway, there's a lot. It goes back to, it goes back to a whole bunch of things that probably really exist in some weird way that people think is myth and folklore. But getting off the point, gold and silver is something that we are able to utilize now. Like you just said, you earned more dollars by just putting those dollars into gold. And if you needed those dollars for an emergency, like your car broke down, I mean, all these people, they're asking good questions and stuff, but they're talking about times that it, you guys, you don't even, right now, you're all buying gas and going to the grocery store. You're all got a job. So right now, you need dollars. So if you could turn it into more dollars, why wouldn't you?
Right. Right. Yeah, I agree.
Time is up. America is over. We just didn't get the memo yet. America might be over pretty soon, but again, I'm going to go where the Lord tells me to go, and I'm not being told to get up and leave this very minute. I hope it's soon though, because I don't know. I tell people, Amanda, there'll come a day where you guys just won't see me anymore. There'll be no, and again, I won't be selling the business, right? I won't be talking the business and trying to help. When I say to selling the business, I'm not actually not trying to sell you
Yeah.
guys anything. I'm trying to help people. Amanda and I are not making millions of dollars off of it. Sometimes it barely covers my bills, but it does cover my bills. But we're not making millions of dollars off of this. We're not selling anything. We're trying to help people.
And we've helped a lot of people, Erin, and I'm just going to keep on doing that. And God has sustained me and my family, taken care of us and provided for us. And when that happens, He's going to do it then too. I trust in that. So I have faith. So I'm not even going to think about that.
We have God on our side, and if you don't know Jesus, I don't know if you know Jesus, Jeffrey. And I got my chat pulled up on the phone. If you don't know Jesus, please just get into the scriptures and let us pray. We'll pray for, we're going to pray for you anyway, Jeffrey. We're all going to pray for Jeffrey before this is over. But if you don't know that relationship and understand where our salvation is,
Hear either one of us.
I think it's coming back up again. It's just a weird thing that just kind of clicks out and clicks back in. And then we try to refresh it and then go from there and hopefully. Let's see, are we back? Oh, hey, my chat came back. Well, that's exciting. Maybe it's going to work. Let's see, can you guys hear us? Can anybody hear me? Because I really wanted to. I know you can. I really wanted to say one more thing because, gosh, I just wanted to. I wanted to say one more thing. Oh, good. Okay. They says we're back now. Okay. The one more thing I wanted to say that I wasn't able to say because it started buffering and probably a lot of people left, which I understand. Say if the Lord wasn't changing things, if He wasn't real and He wasn't working in our lives, Amanda, what kind of person do you think you might have ended up happening to you? I mean, I'm not going to make Amanda tell her story, guys, but if she grew up rough. So I'm wondering, gosh, it's doing this again. Dang
Well,
it. Yay!
but I was 30. Let's see. So, oh, thank you. So I was 35 when I gave my. I didn't know anything. I was clueless. I was hopeless. I was in a mess, and you know, put in the right place at the right time by God, and I met the Lord that night and gave my life to Jesus and gave my life to God. I've been following Him ever since, and I just, if that didn't happen, which I hate what, if it didn't, I would be either dead by suicide or sitting in a prison cell, and I know that for a fact. So I'm, I just think it's, just start listening to what Erin's saying here, because she's really got something on that, and I'm just so thankful and grateful for the way my life has happening for somebody who's just needing some more answers or just trying to figure all this out. That's a great one to watch. So it's by Tony Evans, The Key to Your Reversal. Watch it.
Yeah, it would be so easy for Amanda to say, I get to do whatever I want and act however I want because I grew up with a hard life, and I think people should be, and I think I should have just this kind of attitude where I deserve to be mad. And you know what that person turns into to somebody who turns around and does the same thing. That person turns into somebody that becomes an abuser themselves. That person will embittered, angry, and they'll be drinking their own poison at that point. That person is not the prosperity gospel. That's not the truth. We don't make a bunch of money all of a sudden and everything great like some of like try to tell you or one of these guys. Instead, we sometimes we almost feel like we're suffering more. But we see the beauty and we can rejoice and the fear. Oh, I just hope you'll tune in, Jeffrey, on the 26th because me and MPC are going to talk about fearing God before loving God and really think that will be so good.
Even if it's a little prayer, something just to start my day, and I just made a world of difference for me. And I just encourage everyone out there to be doing the same, and Jeffrey included. I know you're uh, really struggling to understand that, but I'm just going to pray that God will reveal Himself to you, and you'll see everybody was walking around and living their lives, and everything was perfect, and everybody looked the same, and everybody was skinny and fit and happy and healthy, and there was not a problem in the. We need God. Um, you know, uh, it wouldn't. There. What would we be living for? So, not that I'm evil is good, but I mean, it's just you got to think of it in so many different perspectives, not just one. And ultimately, spend eternity in heaven with Jesus, and those people won't. And that's what we get when we make those kind of decisions. So God bless every single one of you, and thank you, Erin, for having me on.
Yeah, I will. Yep. My last thought is, Jeffrey, I'm sorry you went to Catholic school your whole life. Maybe that's the problem. They don't teach you who Jesus is. And I'd love to help you. Email me, ladyliberty@countermail.com. Let me pray for you. Let me pray with you. I'll take a phone call, I'll take a text, whatever you're willing to do. We're gonna do it anyway. We're gonna do it anyway. So I'll just, with that, I want to let Amanda go, guys, because she's got to be somewhere. So peace and love of the Lord, you guys. We will be praying, especially over anyone who asks for it. Anyone can email me for prayer. Anyone can get my phone number, and I will call you, text you, however you want to do that. And I will pray. And when I say I pray for you, I do it. I do it right then and there. And Lord Jesus, we're praying over Jeffrey tonight that he just hear your voice, and all of us with the full armor of God, let us go into this battle ready with you on our side and to know you better every day. That's the first thing I want. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, Amanda, go on with your day and you have a blessed, blessed night. I appreciate you so much and please come back.
Amen. Thanks, Erin. Thanks, everyone, and I'll be happy to come back. So we'll talk soon, Erin.
Okay, peace and love. Good night.
Bye.